Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Unbelievable when he's talking about a pound and he's not talking about a pound cake. Give him a little Fabo Vino and a beautiful woman, and the sky's the limit. A brand new Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays begins now.
Wrestling fans, get ready for a weekend of the unpredictable as the Berzerker, John Nord, returns to MWF Studios in Melrose the weekend of Saturday, January the 22nd. Wrestling Insider Throwback Thursday tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, cyber autograph signings, and more. Boston Wrestling Patreon fans can meet the Berzerker for free. For more information and mail order info, head on over to thebostonwrestling.com super site now. Don't miss the Berzerker, January 22nd. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to bostonwrestling.com. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans looking for the perfect holiday gift? Discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts are on sale now. Join WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, The Wild Berzerker, and more 1980s legends to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session. Meet the wrestling icons up close and personal in an autograph and photo fan fest. Then get ready as the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow take part in a night of white-hot in-ring action. Discount VIP packages and tickets are on sale now for a limited time at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a professional wrestling reunion decades in the making, April the 16th.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Dan Marotti, John Cena Sr. Johnny, a pleasure to have you back yet again here in this humble abode.
Very nice.
You're still working on the lights.
Oh, yeah, well, that's okay. Hopefully we'll get a table. We'll get some mics on the table. It'll be really nice. I can see it coming soon. But it's always a pleasure to be in the studio with the one, the only, Mr. Trouble himself, Dan Marotti.
Mr. Trouble.
Listen, if you were with Moses when he parted the Red Sea, it probably would have come back just to get even.
Well, Johnny, we can only call him as we see him here in the world of professional wrestling. Now, one thing, Johnny, you didn't notice that the fans, some of the astute fans that we have here, we have a very intelligent fan base that watches these shows, is something new about me for 2022.
What's that?
You're not very
You're
observant,
wearing sneakers and socks.
How did you, now, when did you realize that for the first time?
When I first came in. I said, is he sick?
Am I sick?
He's got sneakers.
Am I sick?
Sneakers and socks.
People wear shoes due to illness?
No offense to the good Lord, but what happened to the Jesus shoes?
My slides.
Whatever you call them.
They're by my desk, as a matter of fact.
Well, I watched you tie those out there, and I'm going to myself, This is a little different. Why is he tying shoes? He doesn't
Well, because it's part of the holiday season. One of the great friends of the program and everything that we do had a special 14 and a half extra wides made for me. And they think it's going to help me after going 13 years without wearing regular shoes, wearing those slides, that it's going to try and get me back into the regular footwear routine. Now, I haven't worn them outside of the studio yet. I normally wear the slides here and then I put them on, and I'm still trying to get used to it again. After 13 years, it almost feels like I'm walking on Jell-O, you know what I mean?
Who made the sneaker?
Brooks is the name of the company.
Your sneakers are good for your feet. If there's a well support in there, your foot will adjust and you'll be back in shoes.
They're supposed to be, as far as for support and movement and things like that, you know, they may not be the stylish name brand of Nike, but as far as the quality goes, they're supposed to be the best.
I like my stretchers when I'm out there working around. They fit comfortably. They're good. They lack a little bit of the arch support, but it's very comfortable. It's very different from wearing shoes. I think you're going to be surprised at the results if you keep following through with it.
Well, I figure I'm going to start small, like I said, around the studio during the day, and then maybe a short walk down Main Street for an
There you go.
errand, and then keep going and going from there.
I would, definitely.
So I am very grateful for these shoes, Johnny. We'll hopefully, knock on wood, who knows, maybe a year from now I'll be wearing them every day. But
Nice. It's a nice
I
shoe.
still need the I'm very worried to have a CRPS attack in the shoe and not be able to get back to the studio or home.
I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think so?
Your foot's going to be more secure, too.
All right, well, we're going to have to wait and see. Speaking of unsecure, Johnny, what is going on? We didn't really have a chance to touch base too much upon it last week with all the news, but COVID mania running wild, rampant through the world of professional wrestling. It decimated WWE's Christmas week house shows. Over in AEW, you have Jake Roberts, even though he's been inactive with them due to Lance Archer's injury. Matt Jackson, Brandon Cutler, I believe, down with it. Over in Impact Wrestling, our good friend Rich Swann, down for the count with COVID, and that's kind of scary for him, where his wife is with child right now, getting ready to enter the world next month in February, as a matter of fact. So, Johnny, is it, I know we kind of spoke a little bit about COVID in the last episode, but at what point do you think the wrestling companies lay down the law and say, you know what, if you can do what you want to do with your own body, but if you want to compete inside our squared circle, unmasked, and be around fellow athletes that are in the same position, you got to be vaccinated. Do you think the time has come, or do you think that time will never come?
They're having a big problem with that now, as you can see in the Boston Police Department.
Yes.
The new mayor signed a contract saying that if you're not vaccinated, you'll have to be tested weekly, and now she's trying to renege on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the police union is saying, wait a minute, you already signed it. There's no going back.
So she's pushing for everybody to be vaccinated. Okay, just to
yes.
clarify.
I think if that happens, you'll have tremendous sick outs all over. People will start to retire. I think what you have to do is, in WWE, if I read it correctly, I think they've stopped all this COVID stuff they used to do. Take a temperature, do a daily test. You know what? Here's the name of the game. If you don't want to be vaccinated, and I can respect that, believe me, I respect those who don't want it done. But my thing is this. It's like, what I recommend to people is, I'm going to a party. All right, don't get tested before you go. Wait till you get there. Get tested. 15 minutes will tell you whether you have it or not. So if you're going to wrestle that night, temperature check, automatic rapid test, and you'll eliminate a lot of this stuff.
Every night.
Every single night. But you know what? Here's the problem. The problem is that we know that the virus is airborne. You know, people said 6 feet is far enough. Do you realize when you sneeze, sometimes it goes longer than 6 feet?
Are we 6 feet away?
More, yeah. So you've got to be further away. The problem with the professional wrestling or any sport is once you have that fan contact, they get to those barriers, they get thrown out of the rings. They have, they shake hands, they'll sign an autograph. You know what? At some point, you've got to reach a decision where no more out of the ring. Everything is done in the ring. If you
That
get,
wouldn't be a bad thing.
and the other thing you do is you push the barriers back. So you've got a double barrier. You've got that foam barrier that they use when they hit it, and you've got that metal barrier. So you've probably got 8 or 9 feet between the fans and the wrestlers.
What about what NXT was doing at first when they first had fans at the television tapings, which was almost like the hockey plexiglass?
That works. That works also. That's a very good thing. But again, it's airborne. It's airborne. You know, the thing you understand is that's great for the first floor row. What about the boys and girls, men and women that are up going up? That's where I used to sit with John and my son Dan. We were up there in the gardens, and I'm afraid of heights. And let me tell you, I grabbed the chair. They go, Dad, we're going to get a soda. You want to come with us? No, I'll sit right here and watch the show.
You needed a little Fabo Vino.
Oh, my God. But to me, that's great for that lower level. But the fan interaction, the fact that they've stopped the testing, the fact that they're not doing the click with the thing is not good, is not good. So I think if you go back to that, can you prevent it completely? No.
No, there's no foolproof
But why not,
solution.
why not be
As safe as
proactive?
possible. Yeah.
Right, yep.
So do you think the day will come when Vince or Tony Khan mandates it? Or should they if they don't?
Here's the thing. You know, I raised 5 sons, and they're all good. Thank you, Jesus. I have 3 granddaughters. Thank you, Jesus, for that, too. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I did a lot of theater. And one of the shows I did was The Fantastics. And one of the songs in The Fantastics by the 2 fathers is, why did the kids put beans in their ears when all that we said was no? As soon as you mandate, you force me to do something, that's when I put up that wall. That's when I put up the wall. And I say, oh, really? Really, Marathi? You want me to do that? You know what? See ya. Bye. I'm not doing it. So I think what has to happen is it gets implemented as policy, not a mandate. I'm not going to fire you. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that.
Send them home.
Fine, that's great, but just remember that you're putting, and I always said this, you know, one of the reasons I get vaccinated and got the booster is I do a lot of weddings, I do some wrestling shows, and I'm always interacting with public speaking and motivational speaking. I would feel so bad if I were the individual that was responsible for infecting you or that group. I couldn't live with myself. So that's why I did it. My choice, my body. I made that choice. So you, as a wrestler, as a human being, need to look in the mirror and make a choice. How would you like to be responsible for infecting your wife or child and watching them pass because you didn't do what you should have done? And the athletes are the same way. But their thing is, come in the locker room, no testing, no temperature, get in the ring, do your thing, get out, run past the fans. You're asking for trouble.
Would you like to sing a few bars from the Fantastic song?
You know, really, in that show, I played the old English actor. When I sing, people close their doors and windows. So I would say no.
How long has it been since you performed in the Fantastics?
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was the Marblehead Little Theater. I did a lot with them. I did a lot with the Amesbury Dinner Theater.
Really?
Danvers Community Theater. Yeah, I wrote and directed my own burlesque show.
Oh, really?
I directed Man of La Mancha, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Had a lot of fun. I'd love to get involved in it again.
Yeah.
I would. So I got to find a group. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Monique
well,
likes plays too. So.
Does she?
Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as there's one place you don't rent, but that's a different story for a different time. The plaster may hit someone falling off the wall. But
Oh, my
anyway.
God.
Johnny, along with this decline, we talked about the issue with the COVID taking away from the quality of the event. Do you think WWE was in the wrong for not announcing ahead of time that certain talents weren't going to be on these live events, leading to some very disappointed fans? At Madison Square Garden, you had a double cage main event announced, and 4 of the 5 participants that were advertised in those 2 matches weren't there. Not only did they not announce that ahead of time, they didn't even offer refunds. As a WWE stockholder, I'm disappointed in that. I think when you do wrong by the fans once, it's difficult to do wrong by them twice. You know what I mean?
Thank you. And I got to tell you this. I don't think that was a Vince McMahon decision, because Vince has always been customer-oriented. Let's use that word rather than fan-oriented. Customer-oriented. I cannot ever remember the WWE, WWF saying, Dan Marotti is in a championship match tonight. He's unable to be here. You have 24 hours to file for a refund or get tickets for the next upcoming show.
Well, usually what they'll do is they'll say through the end of the second match.
That's fine.
Because they figure, you know what, at the end of the day, people have left home, traveled, paid to park, probably got something to eat.
No, they won't go.
They're going to sit through a match or two. How many refunds are they really going to execute at that point?
Not many.
One man's opinion. But again, folks, we're all about opinion, and we want your opinion. If you're watching on the Friday Night Live premiere, the premiere chat box is open. Leave your thoughts. Or if you're not watching after SmackDown and AEW Rampage, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Of course, the Super Chat button is open for business. Also open for business is the box office for Boston Wrestling's Soul Survivor 10, back to the 80s, Saturday night, April the 16th, from the historic Memorial Hall, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. There's going to be live wrestling, an autograph photo fan fest, VIP, exclusive Q&A, and more. Here's some information on the big event. Get your tickets now.
Tickets are on sale now for Soul Survivor 10, Back to the 80s, our live event and fan fest, Saturday, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com now. On Monday, January the 14th, 1985, the World Wrestling Federation was live at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, Utah. The opening contest, the magnificent Morocco beat S.D. Jones. Polish Power Ivan Putski with the win over Mr. Fuji. WWF Women's Champion Wendy Richter retained the title over Judy Martin. WWF Tag Team Champions Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch retained the titles over the Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jerry. Tito Santana defeated WWF Intercontinental Champion Greg the Hammer Valentine via countout. And in the main event, WWF World Heavyweight Champion Hulk Hogan retained the title over the Iron Sheik. If you were in Salt Lake City live, share your memories in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out our eBay store. Links in the description box below so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling and keep legends working via Patreon. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view, watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Wrestling fans, get ready for a weekend of the unpredictable as the Berzerker, John Nord, returns to MWF Studios in Melrose the weekend of Saturday, January the 22nd. Wrestling Insider Throwback Thursday tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, cyber autograph signings, and more. Boston Wrestling Patreon fans can meet the Berzerker for free. For more information and mail order info, head on over to the bostonwrestling.com super site now. Don't miss the Berzerker, January 22nd.
Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over bostonwrestling.com on our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay. You can add this to your collection. Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition Autographed posters signed by everyone on the event, number 23 of only 100 made. Include signatures from the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. Talking about the doldrums of the WWE live event week, for the SmackDown brand, and talk about what I would consider maybe the ultimate disappointment if you were looking forward to seeing Roman Reigns. After seeing Sheamus and Drew McIntyre as a tag team earlier in the show, they came back with that as the main event in a singles match. Now, if I had spent the average ticket price to a WWE event now is about $50, I'd be pretty disappointed. I don't know if I'd want to see that.
Sheamus and McIntyre, huh?
Yeah.
One-on-one?
A little rough. Street fight, though. Street fight.
You know what? I've managed wrestlers in street fights. Go anywhere, any place, wherever you like. Use whatever you like. See what they try to do. They try to paint the cake a different color so that you'd still want to stay and watch. Two great guys, though. Sheamus, getting along up there. Nice, still good. McIntyre, good. But to me, it just didn't cut it. It just didn't work.
Would you have been disappointed as a fan going to
Yes.
expecting to see Roman, and then without it even being announced to you, that's your main event?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm a little tired of the Roman Reigns stuff now. I really am.
We're talking about a one-off at a house show, not a weekly TV taping.
All right, so a one-off at a house show. If I were expected or I paid to see the King of Kings, Roman Reigns, the guy that tribal head, and he wasn't there, I would be the guy in line for the refund.
Really? You'd be that disappointed?
Yep, because you know what? What did I pay for? I'm not going to mention the group. A local group had promised Fandango. There was a situation where I guess he was unable to show, and that was the main event. Some people wanted refunds, which I'm glad to say they were granted.
Oh,
and
good.
you had to leave. You left. Of course, it only makes sense. If I give you back your money, why are you going to sit here? So the promoter was very just in what he did, and the fans were very receptive. Matter of fact, they're coming back. They've got a lot of tickets already sold for the next show. So
I would like to see you dance to the Fandango song.
That's been tried, actually, in Boston Garden, but no, I don't.
There was no Fandango
I
dancing.
have 4 left feet, so you know what? I don't.
Tony Atlas wishes he knew some women that had 4 left feet, but that's a different story for a different time, I
Tony
guess.
has got a wonderful wife. How's she doing?
As far as I know, before his theft, she was still in the care facility, knock on wood, hopefully improving, because she is a fantastic lady. Fantastic lady, Mrs.
All right.
Atlas. Monica.
Monica. Very good.
German lady.
God bless.
And we
Moving
hope-
on.
We were talking about Fandango's dancing, but, and then I mentioned the MSG show. 4 of the 5 main eventers they pushed in the 2 cage matches, nowhere to be found.
That's crazy.
I mean, on top of that, you know what's even worse, Johnny, is that even going by the advertised lineup, where they didn't announce any of these cancellations or changes ahead of time, it was the 2nd lowest attended event at Madison Square Garden since 1949.
What's that tell you?
What does that tell you?
If Khan can't read that and Vince can't read that, along with the board of directors, there's something wrong. Madison Square Garden is
The Mecca.
Thank you very much. Took the words right
Mecca.
out of my mouth. When a wrestling show went there, you couldn't get in. That's how big it was. So there's a lot to be said about what's happening. And you know, it's a sad thing to say, but I think what I'm seeing is the ka-ching is becoming more important than fan satisfaction.
I think the only event that was lower attended, not by much, was a summer of 1994 event with Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart against Bret Hart and Razor Ramon as the main event. So
That was low.
94 was a bad year for WWF. It was just about that, and that event was about a month after the steroid trials. So there was a lot going on in Connecticut at that point. But again, what more needs to be said when you're talking about MSG that can't even sell 6,000 tickets? What does it say when they come to Boston and they're not even opening the balcony? They just
coming
open
now,
in the
aren't they?
lower bowl.
They're in
They'll have already have taken place by the time this episode airs, but they're only open in the lower bowl. Is it getting to be the toilet bowl?
Well, it's unfortunate, and I just want to know, and I'm not in the circle, why? Why is all this happening where this man, who, believe me, works his ass off, Vince McMahon, 24/7, Stephanie, 24/7, Triple H, 24/7, Shane McMahon, who's going to have a SmackDown at one of the shows. Why is it going this route? I don't understand. It all began when they hired this new financial guy.
No, I mean it's been. I don't think it's helped since he's come on board. Maybe with the bottom line and the almighty dollar with the TV contracts they have, yes. But I mean, look at the two that they got rid of, Michelle Wilson and George Barrios. I mean, I don't think they were exactly wrestling Zines either. They were financial people. It's been pretty much, other than the little blip they had when they went the route with your son and Batista at the same time, it's been a downward spiral since the bell rang at WrestleMania 17 when they turned Steve Austin heel. I mean, I can't think of any other periods other than 2005 when John and Batista first got the titles after a year of two heel world champions in Triple H and John Layfield, that there's been a boost in the business. I mean, it went up a little bit, and then, you know, not to take away anything that Batista or John Cena did, but it started to go down again, down again, down again, down
Well,
again.
lost interest. You know what it is? I don't think it had anything to do with two wrestlers. I think it had to do with the storylines and the way it was headed. And I think that's the problem they're in right now.
Overexposure, I think, is still the biggest thing.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Did John, when he was healthy, need to be on TV 52 times a year? I think that's why he faced the backlash that he did. And that goes for anybody. Even right now, when you have someone like Roman, who I think is putting in the best work of his career.
I agree.
When he's healthy, does he need to be on TV 52 times a year?
Well, you know what? There are those people, and remember, those are filmed. Those are live audiences. So if people want to see the man, the superstar, Reigns is the man, the superstar, along with the greatest manager around right now, you know, good old, what's his name is out there? Paul? Paul?
Well, that's not his manager anymore.
Oh, I heard that
He's back with the Beast.
Yeah. That's why I'm being facetious when I say that.
All right, all right.
But there's a great guy, great lip service. He went out there, he did what he had to do, and he put him over well. So, you know, people pay to see these types of things. Thank you, Lord. And, Paul me nomine Deus, et cum spirito tuo. So, you know, where was I now? I lost my train of thought. That's what people want to see. So 52 days, every week, 52 weeks a year. You know, Cena was on the road 325 days a year. That's a lot to be on the road. I look at the rest of the champions, I don't think anybody's even come close to being on the road that much. And it takes your toll. And I don't mean that saying, oh, he's my son, I'm bragging. I'm saying you don't understand the life of a professional wrestler. Even 230 days, 300 days is a long time to be away.
How was he gone? Well, I guess maybe if you include the travel days and such, but they only run 4 times a week. And there's only 52 weeks in a year.
But you have to understand, he was doing radio shows, he was doing TV appearances.
So including
for
all the media to
WWE.
go along with
Oh,
it,
it's
yeah.
crazy. I remember him getting up 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? I got to be on. I got a radio show at 4, and then get me to the airport. I've got to be in New York to do this, and then I got a wrestling show, and it's like, it wasn't just the TV shows; it was all the house shows he did, and it's crazy. It's a crazy business, and I don't think people understand that. But when you pay your ticket money, you want to see the man, the woman,
Or what's advertised.
That's exactly. Well, there you go. There you go.
If Roman wasn't advertised, you'd have nothing to complain about.
But you know what? I'm going to go the Vince McMahon route. If you look at the poster, it said card subject to change. Well, there you go.
And
you
how
knew
many-
it when you bought it.
And how many times are those fans going to come back after it's been subject to change on them?
That's why Madison Square Garden had the lowest. People are. I think what's happening now is people are catching up with the business. I say this about a lot of things. Real estate, I'll use that because I was in the real estate appraisal business, mortgage business for a long time. We're dealing with a whole different educated group of consumer. And you can't do what you did in the 50s, 60s, 90s with the wrestling fans. They're too smart. They're really on top of it, And, excuse me, when you tell me you're going to sell me a ribeye steak and I walk in and it's eye of the round, and that's what people are mad about.
Yeah. I mean, I know if I was the average Joe that spent all that money to take my kid Christmas week and he wanted to see Roman or, all those advertised guys on the Raw House show loop, I mean, I'd be extremely disappointed. And I don't know if I'd be eager to go back.
Then what you need to do is do what John Cena Sr. said, implement some of these tests prior to, so at least when you walk in, look, rapid tests are not 100% accurate. But if you get 2 bars on that test, you've got COVID. So you know what? You've got to make a decision. And the decision you have to make, and this is something I don't appreciate either, some of these superstars go to work with COVID. Let's say they're not going to tell you they got it. Now they go out and they shake hands with fans. They're wrestling in the ring with this young man, or these 2 women are wrestling, and this referee. Now you've done nothing but spread it. So they're doing nothing to stop it. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. These men and women have to make a living. The fans out there have jobs too. Let's be real about this.
Do you think there are wrestlers that know they have COVID that have competed?
The excuse is going to be what I hear all the time. Oh, man, if I knew I had it, I wouldn't have been there. Well, I said it earlier. When you walk into the arena, here's the rapid test, there's the table, it takes 15 minutes. I don't want the test, I'm not going to do it. Guess you're not working tonight. You've got to play it safe. And the thing is, it's just like why I took the shots. How would you like to be the superstar because you had it and didn't say it, you didn't feel good, but didn't think it was COVID, that gave it to the referee, who gave it to the locker room, who gave it to the fans out front? Do you realize if that happens, everybody at Madison Square Garden has got to be tested?
Yeah.
Now, in New York, like I said, you can't get into a restaurant or an arena
Without that
unless
card.
you show that card.
And do you think that's smart, Johnny?
I do now. I
You
don't
didn't at
like
one
it.
point.
You're right. I think it's a violation of your freedom of choice. The U.S. Constitution gave you a choice of being vaccinated or not. So my whole thing is that, you know what? Okay, sir, you didn't want to be vaccinated. You don't have a card. I'll tell you what, your table's ready, but we'll do a rapid test. It'll be 15 minutes before you're seated.
Well, at the same time, what about these businesses? Why shouldn't they have the choice to be able to deny service to people that can't prove they have a vaccine?
You know what?
Why should it be limited to just the consumer and not the business?
I agree. It should be everybody. Everybody, because, the vaccine is a wonderful thing. You got to get a booster. Who thought that now the CDC is saying it's not 6 months you need a booster, it's 5. Time's getting shorter now. So, folks, what are you handing me here? I don't want any more needles. I don't want anything else in my body. I've done 3. I have the card. It says I have the card. I'm done. I've got to go to British Vancouver Columbia for a meeting up there in July.
Really?
With John and some friends.
Really?
Yep.
So,
So
little Hollywood work for you, Johnny?
No. They would never do that to me. No, I'm still waiting to be in the movies. Nobody wants me. I break lenses. Women run, scream. So I'm looking for that role. If
That
anybody's
scumbag Cam Zagami was on social media talking about you. He said the true peacemaker is the one that makes what you wear on the top of your head.
I don't know what he's talking about, nor do I know what you're talking about. But the whole thing is this, that the whole thing, if you want to do it, it's got to be across the board. It can't be one half, it's got to be all. And if I really care about protecting fans, protecting my employees, my performers, then here's the rules. And you walk in, you get tested, you get 15 minutes. You don't want to do it, you're not working today. It's unfortunate, but you're not. As far as the card goes, I would say if you don't have the card for vaccine, then I'll let you have your table. You may eat, but we're going to do a rapid test. You don't want to do that? I'm sorry, you can't get in.
As Gorilla Monsoon would say, stick a fork in them.
They're done.
They're done.
They're done.
They're done. All
They're
right.
done.
Wrestling fans, we're not done. But right now, we're going to take a brief time out. Talk more about that big one coming to Memorial Hall. Talking about big guests we have coming to the studio and a big month of January. Stand by.
Tickets are on sale now for Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s, our live event and fan fest Saturday, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com now. The World Wrestling Federation was sold out at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, Sunday, January the 14th, 1996. In the opening contest, Fatu beat Sir Mo. Duke the Dumpster Drosy with the win over Barry Horowitz. Marty Jannetty defeated Bob Backlund. The Body Donnas victorious over Bob Hawley and Aldo Montoya. Savio Vega beat Isaac Yankem, DDS. Hunter Hearst Helmsley with the win over WWF Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon via disqualification. Ahmed Johnson defeated Jeff Jarrett. Goldust victorious over Henry Godwin. WWF Tag Team Champions The Smokin' Guns retained the titles over Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. The Undertaker beat Yokozuna, and in the main event, the WWF World Champion Bret Hitman Hart retained the title over Diesel in a steel cage match. If you were in Fitchburg Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our world-renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out. Boston Wrestling Sports in the MWF explodes into a new year with professional wrestling content galore and need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after our Monday Night Raw review, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. after NXT and AEW, join rotating legends on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday night after SmackDown, don't miss John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, history videos, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. For less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, get early ad-free access to our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times. Join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Wrestling fans, on Royal Rumble Saturday, January the 29th, things are getting a little dirty. That's right. Joining us live in studio for the very first time will be our longtime friend, the legendary Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dirty Dutch Mantel. Dutch will be with us all weekend for Wrestling Insider tapings, Patreon watch-alongs, live episodes, and cyber autograph signings. Plus, Dutch will be watching the Royal Rumble with us. For more information and autograph photos, head on over to bostonwrestling.com.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter. It's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo in an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep Wrestling Legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now. Wrestling fans looking for the perfect holiday gift? Discount VIP packages and tickets to Boston Wrestling Soul Survivor 10 Back to the 80s, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts are on sale now. Join WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, The Wild Berzerker, and more 1980s legends to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session. Meet the wrestling icons up close and personal in an autograph and photo fan fest. Then get ready as the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow take part in a night of white-hot in-ring action. Discount VIP packages and tickets are on sale now for a limited time at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a professional wrestling reunion decades in the making, April the 16th.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marotti, John Cena Sr. As always, very interesting conversation here as the man is headed to Vancouver, British Columbia. God only knows what that's all about. I have a feeling that we may be seeing his name on a Hollywood marquee.
Ooh, I hope so.
What move? Maybe Daddy's Home 3. That was always my dream role for you. You, John Lithgow, and Mel Gibson as dueling grandfathers.
If I ever get a movie role and my son is able to help me get that, I'm sure I'll be the guy laying face down in the mud. You won't even know who it is. You won't even know who it is. As long as I get a check and it says, man in mud puddle, John Cena Sr., done. So if you want somebody to be in the movies, you're looking for somebody to be out there, give me a call.
Do you like that role that I've come up with for you?
In Daddy's Home 3?
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
I think you, Gibson, and Lithgow could
would
make
be-
for very interesting
would be fun.
adversaries.
It would be fun. I turned down, excuse me.
Wait a minute, you turned a movie down?
I have to take this.
Oh, all right.
Hello?
Hi, John. This is Sue from Doug Berzerker.
Yes.
I was calling to make your treatment.
Why don't you set it up and send it to me and we'll be all set. Starting the 1st?
The 4th.
Of-
February 4th.
Let's do it.
Friday.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want. That's fine.
What, the day of the week doesn't matter to you?
Nope.
Okay.
For you, it doesn't matter. I'll do whatever you want.
Macho.
Wednesdays too?
Is that best for you?
Because I can do you at first thing in the morning. You like the first appointment, right?
Done. Let's do it. Yep.
Alrighty. So we'll start. We'll do, the 2nd at 8:45, the 9th at 8:45, 16th at 8:45.
Send that over and we'll be all set.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Thank you, Sue. Happy New Year. Thank you. Bye-bye. That's for my BCG treatment, the radiation.
Oh, all right. Well, that's
So,
good.
Otherwise,
Good,
I wouldn't
good.
take it.
Well, no, we know that's important.
Nope,
but,
so we're all set.
We thought maybe it was some of the executive producers of Daddy's Home 3.
Right away, I made that statement next to my phone went off. I'm going, wow, I'm going to be, yeah, I did. Monice's brother wrote and has produced and directed a movie.
Yeah.
Produced it. And there was a part in there For a married couple at the having dinner, it's all about a boxer. And unfortunately, neither of us could make it. But that would have been a great time to get my face on the silver screen.
Now, do you think The Rock has any interest in having you in any of his movies?
After doing This Is Your Life, John Cena, and walking backstage after he's done jumping jacks and said, "It's an honor and a privilege to meet you, sir." And as I walk away, he looks at Vince and Hayes and Triple H and says, "Who the F is that?" I don't think he has any interest in me at all.
Well, maybe it's just because he didn't know who you were at that point.
I knew who he was, and that was enough. Dwayne Johnson is still a great guy. Peace and love, Dwayne. Great human being. I don't think he has any interest in me at all.
Do you think they ever could have, maybe if they wanted to do a rubber match before he passed away, they could have done Rock and Cena at WrestleMania for the third time with you in John's corner and Rocky Johnson in The Rock's corner?
They
would have added a little layer of suspense, I think.
Would have been great. There was a group in New Jersey that called me when The Rock and Cena were going at it, and they wanted me to manage one person, and Rocky Johnson, God rest his soul, was going to be managing the other person. And
almost like what you and the Cowboy did here in Boston Wrestling.
And they said to me, "You do understand that you'll be going over?" I said, "No, that isn't happening."
Why?
I said, "I'm not taking a man of Rocky Johnson's status and going over on Mr. Johnson."
I mean, it's not like it was a singles match.
Doesn't
between
make
the
any
two of you.
difference. The fact of the matter is, that is the true superstar. That's the true legend. It just doesn't happen in my book. There's got to be a damn good reason for it. And to me, the reason wasn't good enough. So I don't care if we decimated his opponent. That's fine. In the end, it would have been him knocking me out and rolling me out of the ring, which have added fuel to the fire. And then there were a few other things as far as payment and stuff went. So that never
It didn't happen.
Never came to fruition.
That's too
No.
bad. I would have liked to have seen that.
Would have
but
been good. He was a great guy.
Unfortunately, Johnny, you have a loss in the world of professional wrestling. Those fans of 80s World Wrestling Federation. Corporal Kirchner passed away not too long ago. A man, not quite the streak that The Undertaker had, but was 1-0 at WrestleMania when he defeated Nikolai Volkov in a flag match at WrestleMania 2. Your memories of Corporal Kirchner, who WWF brought in to kind of replace Sergeant Slaughter when Vince was against Sarge signing that deal with G.I. Joe to get his own merchandising rights and his own likeness involved in areas outside of WWF.
Didn't fire him, though, did he?
Who?
Sarge.
No, he did.
No.
Oh. And it worked out well for Sarge. I'm sure he's still getting some nice residuals from both G.I. Joe and WWE at this point.
But there again, I do what I want to do. You fire me, and then you bring me back. Yeah, more money. That's good thinking. Anyway, I remember Kirchner. I remember that match. I think he will be missed. He was a talent that was there for a while. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who don't even know who he was. But I
it wasn't
think
a very long stint.
Oh,
He had a little problem with the nose candy back when they tested for that, when that was prevalent in the 80s. Much before the steroid incident would take place, because steroids were legal in 1987. But for those fans that were diehard WWF fans back then, you know, the Corporal had an LJN action figure, appeared on, I believe, at least one or two NBC Saturday Night's main events.
yes, he did.
WrestleMania 2. I mean, once you've gone to the Showcase of the Immortals and come away with the victory over a Hall of Famer like Nikolai Volkov, you know what? Your name is etched in stone to some degree.
Yep, he did. He leaves us with memories, good as far as I'm concerned. We all have skeletons in our closet. We all have demons. But he will be sadly missed. Somebody who gave to the business. And that's all that counts. He loved it, did what he did, even though it was short. Rest in peace.
I thought it was, there he is. Thank you, Corporal.
See?
You know, WWE ran an article about 10 years ago that he had died, and they never retracted it, which I was kind of surprised by, considering that conspiracy theorists wondering what really happened to the Corporal. But he was alive. He had appeared at some WrestleCons we were at.
Yep.
But his mother had to call Titan Towers and let them know that he was alive.
I don't know where they get their info from, but you know what?
I don't know why they didn't put a statement up that stated that he was still alive.
Well, first of all,
just to avoid any confusion.
How about fact check? That's
Yeah.
a wonderful thing.
A
Fact
funeral home.
check. Yeah, anything. Check it out. I mean, I've seen my stuff. You text me once. I have friends text me, and it's all because there are clowns out there that think it's funny. Believe me, buddy, it isn't funny.
I still love that there's a picture out there of you and your ex, and the photo is of you and Great Outdoors together at a WWE live event.
What's that?
I don't know what your ex-wife would think about that if she ever Googled it, but
Me and Carol?
yes, but the photo is of you and Great Outdoors at one of the at a WWE live event.
Well, here's the funny part. I've never been to a live event with Carol.
I remember you were in the same row at an event in Lowell as you.
Oh.
But no, this wasn't that event though. It was at a TV taping, and it's you and Great Outdoors without a pint of ice cream, enjoying the event. And they said, John.
Oh, that's not Carol.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not her.
Oh.
I know what she looks like, and
Oh,
I
yeah?
know what Great Outdoors looks
Yeah.
like. And it's
Me
you
and
and
Great
Great Outdoors.
I know where the hell
So
that came
some
from.
people, they don't know what they're putting up, I guess.
No, they have no clue.
They must have presumed that you and Carol were lifelong spouses. I guess would be the terminology.
34 years and that was it.
Yeah.
So, no. And then I met outdoors.
And now you just wanted to stay in the outdoors.
Thank God
With
for
her ice cream.
Thank God for Moniz.
With
I
her
may joke
ice
about her
cream.
and tell her she's a younger guy, but
Oh
thank God for
my God.
Moniz.
I tell you, the time I saw that picture, I was in tears. I laughed so hard when I saw that. John and Carol Cena. And it was her.
And it wasn't Carol.
Standing there clapping. It was
Yeah.
Great Outdoors.
Wasn't even Carol. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
Carol
But
never looked so
anyway.
good, right? Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you that one, Johnny, for
Yep.
as odd as Great Outdoors could be at certain holidays and birthdays, but that's a different story for a different time. But we want to talk about a little bit of good news, Johnny. We've been talking about COVID in the negative. What about in the positive? JR has gone through all of his, I think, 29 daily radiation treatments, and he says he's cancer-free. Good friend of the show.
He had cancer in his
Ankles.
ankles.
Or ankle, I should say.
It was bones, wasn't it? Or just
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how deep it went, but
I
he
think
had to go 29 consecutive days. I've never heard of that. Does that, to you, indicate a level of seriousness, or?
I would say urgency.
Really?
29, but it all depends on, and I'm taking nothing away from him because there's another guy in my book that's the best. He gave back tons to the wrestling business and still continues. I have great respect for him. It all depends on the radiation that you're using, the type of radiation. It could have been an X-ray radiation where they go back and forth, not the radiation where you sit, God rest his soul, like my brother, where it was an IV, or my brother-in-law Tom, God rest his soul. So there's different types of radiation. Myself, I have the BCG, which I have 3 treatments coming up in February.
Oh.
Hopefully, please God, that'll be the end of that. 3 years is supposed to be, and the bladder cancer is gone. Thank God for that. Let's hope nothing happens anymore. But so it all depends on the level. But again, any type of radiation or outside element into the body destroys cells. You know, it's crazy. Sometimes the cure is worse than the disease.
Really?
My
Do you think-
brother-in-law stopped it. He wouldn't do it anymore. My brother went through all of his treatments. It's just kind of crazy. You know, I watched him lose his hair. My brother-in-law just said, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. Sick to his stomach. You sit there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's very difficult. You know, God bless those people who are going through it. God bless the people who have found what's needed to provide the chemotherapy treatment. but it's not easy. It's not easy, and so it would depend upon the radiation. 29 treatments, a treatment a day. I'm not a physician, I don't know. Maybe somebody out there does, but it could be an x-ray. It doesn't sound like an injectable. If it's bone, then the density would have to be taken care of. So God bless you, JR. Glad to hear you're back on track. Cancer-free. Thank you, Jesus.
And he's back behind the mic already on AEW Dynamite.
Love it.
So
Love
he's a
it.
trooper.
He's
a trooper.
Good man.
Well, it was great to have him here in this studio, folks. And again, you want to talk about great to have here in this studio. What a month we have, Johnny, coming up in just a little over a week's time. The wild, unpredictable Berzerker, John Nord. The fans are loving him. He did not want to be humbled by the Iron Sheik. He was a little confused at first at what humbling even meant up until he did, and then he realized it was not something he wanted to have happen to him.
I watched that episode.
He was little confusion.
talked
Like I
about-
mentioned about that 5:30 phone call I got from the hotel when there was little confusion when he forgot what room he was in, but that's a different story for different.
How old is he now?
The Berzerker is early 60s? Oh,
Six-
no.
60s?
I think 61, maybe 62.
I'll tell you one thing that I was impressed with the interviews was, there's no line with that guy, man. He puts it right out there. Wow. I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to meet him in person.
Well, he didn't like it when the Sheik tried to throw a little medicine in his bag when they were crossing the border.
He made that very plain, and it wasn't only in English. There was 4-letter words and everything in that one.
Well, that's the Berzerker for you.
yeah.
You know those Minnesota guys. You don't mess with them. There's some big bad boys that all came from that one neck of the woods.
He's a tough guy when he wrestled. He contradicted some of the things said by people about deaths in the business. He made some contradictions about people that look tough. Talked about a wrestler being fired, begging for their job. And I remember everything. The one thing he kept saying was, "This is the truth. I don't lie. This is the truth." And, that means a lot when you've got somebody that's been in the business as long as he has, been all over the world, and he sits here and relates those stories. I think he's an interesting character. Hopefully,
Yes.
hopefully Marty will make an appearance here and there.
Well, we'd love to have Marty back if we could have the Marty we had November 13th. Clean, sober, and to the bone, baby.
Well, you know what?
That's the Marty that can really contribute to this industry.
We don't want to talk about his demons or his hardships. As I say to people, when you look in the mirror and find there's a fault, there's only one person that can clean it up. That's you. So when you decide you have an issue and you decide to seek the help, and that's what's going to make the difference. So,
Well, he's got a wonderful resource in
He's a great
WWE.
man.
I have tried to help bring those two ships together, but one of those ships wants to keep sailing into the night. What more can you do?
you know what? We choose our own destiny. And unfortunately, be careful how you travel the road, because yeah, we hit a few bumps, we hit a few curves, but if you continue on that bumpy curved road, eventually you hit the cliff, and then you have to make a decision. And then sometimes there's no control, you just go over. So, I have nothing but good words for my friend Marty Jannetty.
Well, we hope, again, we can have a nice, clean, sober Marty back in this studio, because he's got so many stories, so many experiences to share with you guys. But you want to talk about stories and experiences to share with the great fans at home. We're not done yet, Lights. Around the corner and around the world, Royal Rumble weekend, Johnny. He's going to be with us live for the Rumble itself on top of it. We're not talking about Phil DeCesare, although he may be here too. We're talking about the one and only future WWE Hall of Famer, Dirty Dutch Mantel, Zeb Coulter. You think of the superstars he managed in WWE, from the Blue Brothers to Justin Hawk Bradshaw, JBL, to Jack Swagger, to Alberto Del Rio, to Cesaro. He's seen it all, he's done it all, and that was just a short time in WWE. His time as a legend in the Memphis territory, his great booking in the island of Puerto Rico, along with some of the bloodbaths he competed in. He's written 2 books that are available now on Amazon, working on a 3rd. He's a busy man.
Wow.
Busy man, a lot of stories to share. He is relocated to the Sunshine State. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to be as warm here in Boston Royal Rumble weekend as it'll be in Tampa, or
Gonna
global
freeze
warming
his
will
ass,
really have hit. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. It's a big month. So head on over to BostonWrestling.com. Follow us on our social media platforms for all the information. And again, Johnny, as we've noted, all roads lead back to downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall, when Boston Wrestling brings to you MWF Soul Survivor 10, Back to the 80s, Jake the Snake Roberts, Axon Smash Demolition, the Berzerker, and so many more are going to be there live. Autographs, pose photos, VIP Q&A before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up that squared circle, Johnny, like never before. There could be just a little bit more plaster falling off the wall.
Here we go. I might get at it again. You never know.
The tickets are available now, along with discount VIP packages at BostonWrestling.com. As always, share your thoughts in the premiere chat if you're with us on Friday night. Otherwise, in the comment section below. For the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, even though Majo said he could go an hour, John Cena Sr. I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you next Friday night on Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays. Until then, you and yours, be well, be healthy. Good night from Boston.
Thank you for joining us. Please give the video a big thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more great content. Don't forget, you can help keep wrestling legends working. Check out our eBay store and join the Boston Wrestling family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling so we can produce more in-depth shoot interviews.